If you know me, you know that I love all things flying. I love flying in planes, I love jumping out of them. I've even taken some flying lessons in the past. So today I wanted to share with you one of the reasons why I just love it so much. So come take a trip with me.
All night. All night. All night. All night. All night. All night. All night.
One of the reasons why I love to fly so much is because when you're up there, you're given a view and a perspective that you can't get anywhere else. And these things around us that seem so large, cars, buildings, streets, even cities, when you're up there, they seem so much smaller. And it's not only just a cool view and experience, but there's really nothing like it. And it is such a great reminder, I believe, for how much bigger our God is than you and me and the fears and the things that we face all the time. In the series, we've been Into the Wild, we've been talking about what it looks like to follow God. And a lot of times he may place an opportunity in front of you or may call you to begin to do something, to stop doing something, or to make a change in your life. And sometimes it's scary. Sometimes it's big, and sometimes you don't know how it's going to end. And there are a lot of times things may keep you from taking those next steps. And so today, I want you to think about what is your next step with God? What is the thing he wants you to do, the thing he has put in front of you? And I want you to think about what is keeping you from it. And I think in the same way that we're given new perspective in a plane, I think when you read the truths and promises of God, it gives us new perspective to see how much bigger God is than the things we face in front of us. And so I just want to read to you two verses today that I think are the perfect picture of this. And the first one comes from Isaiah, and he was just a prophet who spoke on behalf of God. God spoke through them, and here's what he said in chapter 55. God said, as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. And God here is essentially saying, the heavens and the sky and the clouds are so much higher than the earth, just like in a plane. And he says, in the same way, God's thoughts are that much higher than our thoughts. His ways are that much higher than our ways. And when we can't see the full picture and we don't understand everything that's going on, God does, because he has the full perspective. And so I want to just remind you today, the things that God may be calling you to do that you may not see what comes after. You may not see the full picture, but God does. And so you can be encouraged and have confidence in that God knows and God is with you. And here's the other thing I want to read to you. And this is one of my favorite verses really in the entire Bible. Here's what it said. This is Psalm 91. It says, whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. One of the reasons it's one of my favorite verses is because of the imagery and the picture it paints. It says, whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High, it says, whoever trusts in God will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. And it's this picture of how much bigger God is than you and I. It says that we're in his shadow. It means he's that much bigger than us. And when we trust in God and we believe in him, we're in his shadow, and there's comfort that comes in that. There's confidence that comes in that. And it also describes him as being a fortress. It's this powerful thing that you can rely on. And so, students, what are the next steps God has for you? What are the things he wants you to do, the steps he wants you to take, and what is keeping you from taking them? Maybe it's doubt. Maybe it's self-doubt. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's anxiety, or what will they say, or what will they do? But I want to remind you of this today, of how big your God really is. God is bigger than your doubt and your fear and your anxiety, and he will be there when you take these next steps. And so I want you at some point today to just complete this sentence. I want you to think about what's keeping you from taking your next steps, and I want you to complete this sentence. God is bigger than my blank. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's worry, maybe it's, I don't know, whatever it may be for you. But I want you to be honest and just to say, this is really what's keeping me from it, and to remind yourself of that truth and promise that God is bigger than it. Listen, God will help you take these next steps. He will be there with you. He sees the full perspective. These worries you may have and feel are so small in comparison. And I know they feel big, and I don't want to write that off. But I just want to be a reminder for you today that your God is bigger than the things in front of you. And so I hope that in group you get to encourage each other. That's why we do group, to encourage each other of these truths and to remind each other to take these next steps. And students, don't forget, your God is bigger than the things in front of you, and he will be with you when you take these next steps.
Junior high students, retreat is next weekend and you're running out of time to sign up. It's going to be the best weekend of the year. You're going to get to hang out with your small group and your friends all weekend long. We're going to go to main event and have all sorts of games. You can sign up at brazospoint.com/students. Junior high students.